which is about this appalling shooting that happened a while ago. And at the time, this absolutely gripped the world's attention and then seems to have released it, but now it's cooking up again.
It's coming back again. Yeah, this is in The Guardian. This is about Alec Baldwin, because he's just done an interview about this. Right. This is his first interview since this horrible tragedy, and it's on set for a Western where Halyna Hutchins, the director of photography, was sadly killed when the gun discharged. And the gun was handed to Alec Baldwin, and he was told it was a cold gun, which is the sort of movie lingo for, it's not dangerous.
I've actually been on a set. A friend of mine was a props master in Vancouver, and I went to visit him and was invited to come and attend it. It was one of lots of straight-to-video thrillers he was doing. But the main thing I remember was how urgently they would shout, "Guns are hot."
Yes.
And even then they're only loaded with blanks, but they are extraordinarily... Anyway, we have a clip of this interview to watch now briefly, I think.
Described it as a 1 in a trillion shot, and the gun was in your hand. How do you come to terms with that? It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
So that's a pretty extraordinary... well, I'm going to say, what is it? He's not even... It doesn't sound like a claim. He's just simply asserting it as a bare fact. But
yes,
that's new, isn't it? The idea that he didn't pull the trigger.
This is brand new. So this has just come out from this interview now, that he's claiming that he didn't pull the trigger at all, almost as though it kind of went off in his hands. And I don't know about the feasibility of that or what
do you think,
I don't understand. I mean, this is so bizarre. It's like it's horrific because it's real life, but it's almost like some corny sort of Columbo.
Everyone has said it's I think it actually literally was a Columbo plot.
Right, has everyone said that?
I think it's in this. Well, no, it's not. I'm not accusing you of plagiarism.
But no one
genuinely was a Columbo plot.
But no one said French Letter.
No, you're in with that. I think the thing about it is that there is that stories have emerged through various sort of grapevines, and one of them concerned somebody who was on set. I cannot remember who it was. Who was a bit of a tearaway. Who would enjoy using prop guns to do target practice with live rounds.
I mean, it's
so it could easily have ended up from that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, one of the issues with this is they had a very, very young person who was in charge of the guns. I think she was 23 or something like that. And movie sets have been so hot on. Have you just alluded to? They're so sort of careful about this stuff. I think probably ever since the death of Brandon Lee, of course, where he was shot in the filming of The Crow, and it's such a rare thing to happen. But then you watch that interview, the Guardian's sort of basically talked about this particular interview for ABC, and you watch the interview and you do remember this is a very human tragedy. Of course there's the victim, but to have inadvertently caused someone's death must be one of the most appalling things to live with. And I found the whole thing quite distasteful. I found it quite distasteful the way elements of the right have gloated about this, because of course Alec Baldwin is very anti-Trump, very anti-gun, famously. And, of course, people have dug up his old tweets talking about how I wonder what it feels like to wrongfully shoot someone, and sort of retweeted it and gloated about it. I find that kind of schadenfreude really inhumane, actually. And so watching the interview there, it does remind you that, actually, there are people involved here.
He looks absolutely dreadful, and he's going to be traumatised forever.
Yeah.
And it's an appalling situation. I can't understand what's happened. He said there was no live bullets.
I think no one
and
knows, right?
this issue now, there's been a big legal briefing, obviously, and now he is saying that line, I did not pull the trigger, I've never pulled the trigger on a gun, so there's something...
I have to say, I don't wish him any ill, but I remain agnostic on the truth of that. I am not absolutely convinced, and he may have convinced himself that it's true. Well, it may be the only way he's getting any sleep. He may have just said, there's no way, I wouldn't have done that. But, guns don't just fire. They really don't. That doesn't happen.
It's perfectly possible that he did pull the trigger, but remembers or has convinced himself that he didn't. It's perfectly possible. We don't know, do we?
Well, we don't know, but I remain agnostic. He's a great actor.